This is the 2026 Geely Starray EMI, and hold on just a second because you may be thinking, what on earth is this? Well, this I think is currently one of the best plug-in hybrid cars available on sale in the UK, starting at just under £30,000. This thing is absolutely kitted out with loads of luxury, loads of tech and a super smooth driving experience to take on the likes of BYD and also competitors such as MG in the lower end of the market. This one I have here is the top spec model at £35,000 with all of the bells and whistles, and I think you'll agree it does look rather charming, doesn't it? It's a nice large SUV, super comfortable, and uses mainly electric drive. And even if you don't plug it in and charge it up, this will still achieve upwards of 50 mpg on the standard self-charging hybrid mode, up to 618 miles combined range with the electric and petrol motors. So the question is, should you part with your cash for one of these, or should you be looking elsewhere? Well, that's what I'm here to find out today, so please join me on a full tour of the car. I'm going to take it out on the road and show you what I think. But before we do that, if you're looking to buy a new car, make sure that you do a vehicle score check on it first. Vehicle score shows you everything you need to know about a used car in a nice, easy graphical interface using their fantastic, highly rated app. And what's more, if you pay for one of their full checks, it will show you whether there's any hidden crash history, hidden mileage clocks, hidden outstanding finance, police seizes, all that stuff that you want to know when buying a used car. Using my code danlat10, you'll get a little bit of money off as well, and just make sure that the car that you're buying isn't a lemon. I love the way it's laid out. It makes everything super easy to see, and it scores the car out of 1,000 to make sure that you're getting a good deal. So what are you waiting for? Click the link below to head to Vehicle Score and use my affiliate code danlat10 for 10% off. And if you're looking to buy or sell a used car, I've got affiliate links for that too that will make it super easy for you. So let's start with the headline figures then. Thankfully, there's only one drivetrain to choose from in the Starray, and that is a 1.5 litre plug-in hybrid petrol that you see here that has around 260 horsepower, good for 0 to 60 in around 8 seconds. And there are two battery packs to choose from. The first one being an 18.4 kilowatt hour with 51 miles of EV range, and then the larger one, a 29.8 kilowatt hour with around 84 miles of electric only range. That top end model also supports faster 60 kilowatt DC charging as well. This hybrid drivetrain is made so that the electric motor is driving the front wheels around 90% of the time. So realistically, it feels like an EV with a petrol generator attached to it. As for the fuel economy, if this thing is charged up, expect to see over 100 mpg around town and easily 60 to 90 mpg whilst the battery has that charge. And you can set it to hold an amount of charge as well. And once it goes into full hybrid mode and it's completely out of plug-in charge, you can still expect around 45 mpg, maybe even 50 mpg as well, which is roughly what I've been achieving when the battery is run out. So this is a very, very efficient car, capable of upwards of 600 miles of range once the engine is topped up with fuel and the battery is topped up with power. The top end Ultra model with that 84 mile range, that's currently amongst the best of the plug-in hybrids available on sale currently. In terms of specification, very easy to choose from as well. The standard Pro model comes with a really good spec sheet as standard, including a 360-degree surround view camera, online navigation, 15.4-inch central infotainment screen, keyless entry and go, wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, privacy glass, 19-inch alloys, heated, power adjustable front seats. The list goes on. It's really well spec'd for the money, starting at just over £29,000, which is really good for this level of kit. The Max model is around £2,500 more, and that will get you a large 13.8-inch head-up display, panoramic sunroof, power tailgate, a 16-speaker 1,000-watt Fly-Me audio system, 256 colour ambient lighting, wireless phone charging, and also ventilated and heated front seats. I think it's definitely worth the money for that upgrade. That's a massive improvement on kit for not a lot extra, especially once you factor in finance deals and dealer contributions. And then there's the Ultra, and the main difference with that one is the battery. So that one is £35,000 and it has the larger battery with fast charging and up to 84 miles of pure electric range. That's the one that I have here today. It's worth noting as well that these come with an 8-year, 125,000 mile warranty and an 8-year unlimited mileage battery warranty, which is quite impressive because people obviously are going to be a bit sceptical about new brands launching in the UK. Geely is actually a well-known brand. They're known for electric London taxis and things like that. And the EX5, which is their fully electric SUV that I reviewed recently, I gave a really good score. This is the sort of car to go for if you're looking for something that's really well equipped, really comfortable and feels really premium on a budget. There are obviously alternatives out there from MG, BYD, and also now JQ and Omoda, but I think this one is kind of the more premium of all of those, to be honest. This one feels like the most expensive car out of all of those options, and even if you can't plug this thing in very often, it would still actually be fairly efficient to use. So at the front here, nothing too aggressive. It's quite a smooth style, and you've got a nice smooth front end for aerodynamics, and you can see the Geely badge front and center there, which is quite distinctive. You know what it is when you see it. And again, a large number plate down there, which is kind of Range Rover style, I think does help. Down there you've got some cooling and ventilation, and then you've got some integrated fogs. It does kind of remind me of the Porsche aesthetic, this car. And then you've got some full LED lights up the front, which also has the integrated indicators, and it's quite a nice smooth design. I really like this metallic green as well. I do think the metallic green helps the aesthetic of the car. Heading down the side, you can see we've got a really nice side profile. This reminds me quite a lot, as we head towards the back of the car, of like a Porsche Cayenne or something like that. It's got that kind of same door handle style and that same kind of rear style, especially with the light bar that's integrated. And I think the wheels look good on this as well. Obviously these are the slightly larger ones from the, not the base model, but the other two models, but I think they're still quite good. They look the part. They've also got quite chunky tyres on, which does help as well. Like I said, it's kind of got that Porsche stance to it at the back. I really do like the styling of this one, especially in this colour. I think this colour looks really good. And yeah, just look at this at the back. It's quite an interesting design, isn't it? Especially this light bar. I think the light bar makes all the difference, to be honest. Look at this, the way it integrates into the back there. And you've got your indicators in here, which I'll show you as well. And then it just runs along. You've got then this little inscription in the middle. You've got the Geely badge in at the back there, and this large number plate, almost like a Range Rover style plate, big kind of chunky plate, which makes a difference. And no silly exhaust trickery at the bottom. It's just got a standard looking diffuser, nothing crazy, nothing untoward. It's not designed to look sporty. It's just designed to have a nice road presence. It's not a particularly angular design, which means I think it's going to be fairly timeless. This doesn't look massively modern, nor does it look particularly old. It's just a nice blend of design aesthetics. I think they've done a really good job of it, especially at this price point. It definitely looks like more of a premium car, which is obviously what people want when they're spending this sort of money. But obviously compared to high-end competitors, I think it holds its own on the road. And when you just take a look at this paint, even when it's not under direct sunlight, yeah, it's got a really nice finish to it. I really think it does look the part. So heading into the Starray, once you approach the car, it unlocks automatically. As you walk away, it locks automatically, but there is also a button on the door for this. And these door handles are chunky. They feel super high quality to open. The door feels heavy. It's also got a lip that runs all the way to the bottom. So as you can see, it's quite rare to get your legs muddy, which is always nice. And then you're greeted with a very nice high-tech looking interior, which is lovely. On the door card here, you can see we've got a mix of materials, mostly this kind of pleather material, which actually is nice quality, squishy up the top, some stitching along there. And yes, there are some piano black, gloss black plastics, and this is also plastic, not aluminium, but it still looks the part. The handle is built into the door with some leather wrap on it as well, and you've got some nice switch gear, which has a nice clicky feel to it. Moving down the door, you've got a fairly large storage bin as well, as you can see, enough for a bottle to slot in there with a little bottle shelf, and then the premium audio system in this one as well. And as we head inside the car, this one has the premium vegan leather upholstery, which is available on the kind of the middle trim and above, and it's got a really nice plush feel to it. It even has headrest speakers built in. So in here, there's actually speakers, which mean that when you're asking your voice assistant to do things, or when you've got navigation on the go, these headrests will have speakers that just speak directly to you. Really cool. You've got the badge there, and then this nice kind of quilted feeling pleather material. It's quite squishy as well. It's got quite a nice firmness to it for support, but nothing too crazy. Heated and ventilated on this model, and then some electric adjustment down there. The only thing we don't really have is lumbar adjustment, and then there's no kind of entry sill or anything too fancy, but that's kind of them cutting costs, cutting corners in the places where it doesn't matter too much. What is nice is you get the branded mats, which are quite thick with poppers on, makes it nice and straightforward to use. And then as we head in, you've got the large displays and lots of open space. Look at this floating center console here. Makes such a difference to how open the cabin feels. And also really like these speakers that are built into the dash here with that nice ripple effect, so that kind of imitates the sound. These look like they should pop out, but they don't, but it's a really cool look to it. There's lots and lots of speakers around the cabin as well. So let's hop in and I'll show you round properly. So you'll notice this is a nice open spacious cabin. The gloss black does continue onto the dashboard a little bit with this trim, but it's not overwhelming. There is also ambient lighting that runs across here in this model as well. And again, kind of some pleather materials at the top of the dash, and also down here as well. This is all squishy material. Even down the bottom where the plastics are, there's nothing too bad. Like the scratchy materials down the bottom, really not that bad at all. The premium feel in here for this price is really good. Everything you touch feels super high quality. I mean, listen to this volume dial here. really nice. And then got a nice cover here with this kind of fake wood trim that's got like these pinstripes through it, really cool. And then in this one we've got wireless phone charging down here as well. So a decent ergonomic layout, lots of storage under here obviously, with a nice little mat area, and you've also got power outlets C, A, and also your standard power as well. So it's a well thought out cabin, and I can rest my arm here nice and easily. This steering wheel is kind of a squoval shape, very common at the moment in a lot of these cars. Starting with the layout of the wheel, we've got the Geely badge in the center, and then on the right hand side here we've got a few controls. It's gloss black, but it's not too smudgy, which is good. You've got a couple of controls here for this screen in front of me. Now this screen effectively just shows you a few different things you can cycle through to go through some information. So you can see like your current trip, you can see the current economy, and you can see the average power consumption, your current media, and so on. Nothing too crazy, but it's nice and easy to use with these buttons here. And then on the other side, this is where things get interesting. This is a one-touch cruise control button, which works really nicely with cancel, and you can operate it from this here. But this button here is a shortcut button. What happens with that is we use the shifter on the column here to shift down into drive, and then I press this button here, which is my shortcut button, and it says on here, tap to confirm your favorite drive setup. So you press OK, and how you've set up your assist features is automatically put in there. So you can disable your speed limit warning, the beeping, you can also turn off the lane keep assist, all that. However you want it, the preference, you just press this button, then press OK, and it's all done and switched to how you like it. Obviously it's an EU regulation thing that it has to be all on by default. So the fact that they've put this shortcut button to just go to your favorite setup makes things a lot easier than fiddling around in the menu. The rest of this display is pretty straightforward. In the middle, you have your driving data, so when you're going along, you can see what's around you. And then on the left-hand side, you've got your basic range and things like that. So it's quite a straightforward display. It's in a nice place. It means you can just glance at it. And there is also a head-up display as well. You probably can't see it and amongst the sea of Teslas in front of me here, but there is a large head-up display there, which has some useful information on the higher end trims. Indicators, which will bring up a top-down blind spot view. And also, it's kind of one of these indicators where it doesn't self-cancel, so sometimes you have to do this, and then just your shifter on the right hand side. So nothing too crazy. Your vents are nice and easy to use as well, and everything in general feels really nice quality in here. Like everything is super solid, there's no flex to anything, just feels really nice. And I appreciate that there are some physical controls here too. So we've got one for your windscreen heater, one for your recirc, automatic climate control, and climate control on off. This one, it acts as a select or a play pause button, and also a volume wheel. And then you've got some cup holders in here. These are a little bit disappointing. They're very close together and they're quite difficult to use. They've got kind of poppers so that you can change the size of them, but if you put two cups in here, they're clashing, and I just think it's a bit poorly laid out. Definitely not made for larger cups at all. If you've got a Stanley, it's not going in there, I promise you that. And then you've got your wireless phone charger down here, and a large central storage area. Talking of storage, over here we have the glove box. It's kind of hidden away under the dash, and as you can see, it's not the best, but it's not a half-size one like you see in many new cars, and it does soft open, so that's nice. And again, not too bad quality. The real kind of centerpiece of this interior is this central display. As you can see, it's got this nice image on it here. And you can kind of set this up how you want it. It's kind of similar to like a Tesla display, I guess, but this has Apple CarPlay as well, so I can connect it to my phone. Just look at the size of CarPlay on here. Ignore the fact that the display looks a little bit dark on this side as well. It's a trick of the camera just because of the filter I've got on, but this is a really bright, crisp display. It's a fantastic resolution. It always automatically adjusts to the correct brightness depending on what time of day it is, and it's got, as you can see, massive Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is wireless, and you've also got its own app drawer as well, with things like camping modes that you can leave the display on, Spotify built in here, and you've also got your cameras as well. So if I go onto the camera, you can see we've not only got a front facing camera, we've also got top down 360 cam. I can press on this button up here and it will give me a full view of the car around me. I can also press this button here and it will give me a curb view, so I can see exactly where the wheels are. That's super handy for parking, isn't it? And this is on all of the models. It's included as standard, which is really good, much better than many other brands. You've also got a few things on here around the power, so you can see some really nice graphics here about how much range I currently have, and also whether I want to preserve the kind of the battery and things like that, all the charging settings, all that good stuff. And in here we have some more of the vehicle's controls. So we've got all the audio controls. It's a 1000-watt system in here with the Fly Me sound on the mid-range trim and above. It's a really nice system, and it's got an EQ built in as well, and some spatial effects, really nice. Annoyingly, the power sunshade, you have to operate, it is a really nice pan roof, but you have to operate it in here. So you go in here and then you fully open it, and then it will do its thing. So now it's whirring away opening up. But the downside of this is that you have to do this every time you get in the car for some reason. I can't seem to get it to remember that I like it like this, which is slightly annoying. And then you've got some also stuff for your seats. So in here you've got seat comfort with different drive profiles. You can come in here and do your heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats. Again, the only downside is there's no physical buttons for this, which is a shame because I like to, you know, play around with ventilation and the heated steering wheel and stuff. So you have to come into this menu for that, which is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. What is interesting, there's also quite a lot of settings for the driving mode. So you've got pure electric mode, you've got the hybrid mode, which it's in by default, and then power mode basically gives you more power from the petrol motor. And then you've got braking regen settings, your steering settings, so comfort, standard or sport makes it heavier or softer, and brake pedal feel as well, comfort mode or sport mode, and the sport mode is a kind of a firmer braking feel, a more abrupt braking feel. And you've also got options to hold the charge and so on. Lots and lots of different customization in here. I've also got all of the adjustment for this. As you can see though, this system is super smooth, super responsive, and I really like the GUI. It's very modern, it's very crisp, interface is minimal, the fonts are all nice, it's very easy to move your way around. There's lots to play around with in here. It is a shame, however, there's not as many apps as like your Teslas and other cars like that. However, things I do moan about, if I go back to the home screen, I can swipe down from the top for a shortcut menu, and there is a shortcut for the sunshade in there. There's also a shortcut for the fuel flap, driver ventilation. You can customize this as well, and it's the same with these controls down here. So there is also a option to go in here and add some of these as shortcuts to the bottom area. So yeah, if you've tried a modern car like a Tesla or a BYD or something like that, you're going to be quite familiar here because it's a very kind of iPad-like interface, just very typical of a modern touchscreen computer, and it works really well with different drive profiles as well. So if you've got a few different people driving the car, they can set it up how they like it as well. It's even got gimmicks like vehicle search. So if you press the button twice on the key, you can set it to honk and blink so that you can find your car in a busy parking lot. You can also go into really in-depth mileage stats, so you can see power consumption, fuel consumption over the last 50 or 100 miles. Makes it really easy to understand what's going on, and it also tells you about the what's using the battery as well, and that kind of thing. So it's really in-depth. You can get into the nitty-gritty of this stuff. There's a fantastic battery warranty on here, and like I said, this drives effectively like an electric car. It's not as quick as an electric car, but it's got that same smoothness to it, and that petrol engine really just acts as a generator for that for the most part. Up the top, you've got your hazard switch up here and an SOS feature, and then a nice frameless rear view mirror. You can see there's a big C-pillar, but overall visibility is good. You've also got large door mirrors with a blind spot monitor light on, which is really nice and clear, and then really large mirrors and a little light there as well to use. So there's really not a lot I've got to complain about in here. It's a really nice layout. It feels premium. It reminds me of like the Genesis stuff and things like that. It feels nice and open and spacious and airy with this pan roof in this model as well. And in the back, it's pretty impressive too. Let's have a look at that. So stepping into the back here, you can see we've actually got tons of space. It's a very similar situation with the door card, and you can see we've got the nice switch once again, and a fairly decent door bin with a part for a bottle as well. And even though this isn't a fully electric car, completely flat floor back here, which makes it super easy and super spacious. You can see back here as well, we actually have a large drawer, which is a pass-through to the front, so you can put things in there and open it up down here, or you can just use this effectively as like a bin. So this is ideal for the kiddies and stuff, isn't it? If you just want to bung some snacks in there, or like a phone charger or something, it's a really nice little addition. You've also got USB-C and A charging, and then in the back of the seats, a little pocket for whatever. It's a shame there's not like a phone pocket at the top like there is in some cars, but as you can see, nice and open, airy, lots of headroom. There's actually speakers built into the back of this as well in this model, and you get the same nice seat treatment back here with a nice angle on the seats as well for thigh support, as you can see. You'll see when I jump in a moment. Now, as for these covers, these are Isofix covers. These are the type that just pop up, so you're not going to pull them out and lose them, and it means that obviously there's plastics around, means it's durable. When you're putting child seats in and out of here, you're not going to mess up the leather too badly. It's all tucked away nicely, which is good, isn't it? You've also got a center armrest which pulls out, and that has two cup holders in as well, making for a nice luxurious rear seat experience with all of this legroom. So let me jump in and I'll show you what the space is like. So heading into the back of the Starray, and even though this isn't a full electric car, there is a still completely flat floor pan back here, which makes it super easy, as I mentioned. And what's more, look at this headroom. Even with the sunroof in this particular model, I've got tons of room. This is in my driving position, by the way, at 6 foot, and I've still got thigh support back here. I can still recline nicely as well. It's just super comfy. There's loads and loads of room back here, and even if I was sitting in the middle as an adult passenger, do you know what? not terrible either. I think it would be a little bit cramped because of how narrow the car is, but that's kind of the case for any smaller SUV. Pretty much the only downside I can see here is if this seat is in the low position, then it's a little bit hard to get your feet underneath it because of where the floor sits. But the fact that they've put this kind of rake on the seat means that I do have enough support. I can rest my arms. I've even got, of course, the pull down armrest. Oh, long drives back here would be a breeze pretty much. So let's take a look at the tailgate situation. As you press the button, this one has the electric tailgate, comes to life, and you can actually set the angle that this opens to as well. So if you've got a low roof or something, you can set it to open to a lower height, which is really good. And in here, as you can see, I've already got my bag in here for storage. This load cover is a breeze to use. Just pull it back, put it like this, and it is as simple as on a tension rod, pulling it out. Ideally you want to have the seat forward to do it, but then it does just slot out like that. And this does actually have a place it can live under the floor as well, which makes things super easy. It's got a little cutout for that. So as you can see, it's a really nice easy load area. You've got no lip at all to get in, and this floor is nicely level across the board. You've also got a little area back here, so there's a toolkit in this area which slides out. You've also got under the floor some storage, so I put in there, I haven't fitted it properly, but I've got the load cover under there with the charging cable. You can actually take that section out there and fit it properly in there if you want to. And as you can see, we've got a 60-40 split as well, which is fairly straightforward. There's no fancy electric controls or anything too crazy. All we've got back here is a few shopping hooks. You can see they say max 3 kg on there, so there's one on both sides. Nothing crazy in terms of features, but if I pop these seats down, you'll see it does create a fairly cavernous area, and the carpets accommodate a nice easy pass through as well. This all feels like quite a nice quality bit of kit as well. It doesn't feel cheap or nasty in the way that it moves, and as you can see, it creates a really nice area. This has got a big kind of slope to it, which means that obviously larger items will need to be pushed in a little bit, but in general it's a really nice large open space, and you can see a completely flat floor as well seeing into that cabin. So it's going to have a little bit of an angle there, but if I head round to the side of the car and show you what it's like in here, the only downside I would say is taller items. Obviously it's taken up quite a bit of space in there, so your mileage may vary with that, but long items are going to be fairly well accommodated. And as you can see, because of the level of legroom, it means that these headrests are very unlikely to snag on these seats as well, regardless of what you do. The only other downside I see is that the seat belts potentially, as you put the seats up, can snag, so you might need to pull those out, and so it makes it a bit less of a one-handed operation, but that's a small price to pay for a fairly nice, fairly practical space. It's a shame there's no extra cool features back here, but you know, for the sake of this sort of money in this sort of segment, this is going to be quite competitive with rivals from BYD, MG and the like. So super impressed overall with the fit, finish and the kind of overall quality of the Geely. So let's get it out on the road and I'll show you what it's like to drive, and this I think it really excels at as well. Right, let's do a 0 to 60 then and see what this is about. So I'm just in the standard hybrid mode. Let's punch it. The engine has kicked in. Really smooth off the line though, and I can hear the engine working in the background, but it's not screaming. It only really does that when you're in power mode. If you're in power mode, the engine starts to get really upset, but in the standard hybrid mode, which I would use almost all of the time, it's absolutely fine, and it's a super smooth experience. As I mentioned before, the power delivery is effectively 90% electric motor, so when you press your foot down, you get an instant little shove of torque, and it's super smooth. And around town, it's almost always in electric mode only, so even when you're low on battery, it's still performing that way. But it's not like some early plug-in hybrid cars, which when it was out of battery, it would entirely go back to the combustion engine and be a jerky mess. This doesn't feel like that at all. You don't feel any gear changes in this. You don't feel any, you know, it doesn't feel like a normal car at all. It just feels like an electric car. You just get that noise occasionally when the petrol motor is kicking in to generate some of that energy. And as a result of that, it's not particularly fast. Obviously on paper, it's got quite a bit of power, right? And you can feel that when you put your foot down, there is a nice shove of torque. But occasionally, especially when you're out of battery, you do notice the strain from the engine kicking in, and it's not an instant response like you get from an EV. With an EV, obviously you touch the throttle and all of a sudden you're walked into space. In this, it's not like that. It's a much more progressive and linear power delivery, which is fine for most people day to day. This is not a car that you want to be doing spirited driving in, and I will demonstrate why later, but this is, for the money, exceptionally comfortable, and I mean exceptionally comfortable. The suspension is very soft, but it irons out lots of bumps and it deals with imperfections in the road in a really nice way. And one worry obviously is that it can be a bit too soft and floppy in the corners, and it can be. However, for most of your driving, which is going along like this, plodding around town, doing long motorway trips, this is refined, comfortable, and feels way more premium and way more expensive than it actually is. Hoodling along now, I'm doing about 50 mile an hour now, and you wouldn't know it. It's quiet in here. I don't hear much noise externally. Even on these larger alloys, I don't get an awful lot of road noise. And once I've got this awesome sound system cranked up, I don't really notice at all. So it's a really nice experience. And the fact that you can just put fuel in this and just drive it normally without charging it as well, don't let the plug-in bit put you off, because I think the plug-in here isn't the essential part, it's the bonus. So if you've not got a driveway to charge at home, or if you can't really practically charge it regularly, I wouldn't really be too stressed about that, because even when it's completely out of charge, I'm achieving 50 mpg easily, and it's still relatively smooth to drive as well. But right now I've got charge, I've been achieving around 80 to 85 mpg on the hybrid drivetrain. So, you know, it's quite efficient. And when you factor in the larger battery on this high-end model, then you can really get some decent miles out of it, especially with the petrol engine combined. Like I said, over 600 miles of range for a single trip. It's also just such a premium place in here. Like, I've got the tilt and telescope of the steering wheel adjusted so it's quite low, and I can get quite a low driving position, but I do like the driving position. Got a place for my elbows, I can cruise along nice and easily. And the driver assist features, you probably just heard the speed bong there as I was just straying over. Not very intrusive, and as I mentioned, you can turn it all off with one button on the steering wheel. It's a great feature, works really well. And the lane keep, whilst it does do its job, if I go over, it starts to lightly tug me. You can see there the steering wheel made a minor adjustment for me. It's doing it again now as I'm overtaking. It's not too intrusive. It's there, you know it's there, but it's not intrusive. The cruise control works really well as well. Single button on the steering wheel. It's not quite as good as Kia and Hyundai's system of automatic steering. This is a little bit more complex than that, but it's still really good. Again, for the money, to have all this stuff included pretty much, it's really good. And if I was blindfolded and someone told me that I was driving a 50, 60,000 pound car, I would absolutely believe you. It's also nice how much customization you have. Obviously I've got it in the highest regen mode, but you can free it up a little bit if you prefer a more normal driving experience. And I've also got it in its sportier steering setting as well, which means the weight is there a little bit more, which I prefer because it gives it slightly more steering feel. There's not an awful lot of texture. It's very electronically assisted and it feels like it's majorly geared towards comfort, but they have tuned it for UK roads and European B roads and stuff like that. So that is something that you can notice over some rivals, is that this definitely has a little bit more kind of chuckability than some other cars that are more geared towards Chinese market. I can put it right down into the comfort mode if I want it to really free up, but for me, comfort mode is almost sketchy, like it's far too light. Feels like I've barely got any control over it. So sport mode, the firmest mode for me, it's still light enough around town as well, so that's why I leave it in. So I'm going to put it in its power mode, which gives me that cool noise there that you heard, and then I'm going to show you where this thing does fall apart a little bit, which is in the kind of dynamic driving experience. So let's go for a roundabout here. Being front wheel drive as well, it does struggle a little bit to put that power down. I'm already starting to get tyre squeal and wash out. Thankfully, not dramatic understeer around there. That was quite a quick turn and it didn't fall to bits completely, which is nice. There was a lot of body roll and it did feel like the weight transfer of the car was struggling. It also struggles to put its power down. If you're kind of in a wet situation, plant the throttle, the wheels do spin up a little bit. So it's not tuned the best compared to some rivals. But, you know, for the most part, unless you're doing lots of spirited driving, you're not going to notice these things in your day-to-day pottering around and cruising up and down the motorway. Power mode for me is a bit of a weird one because it does, yes, provide a bit more instant torque, but it's still a little bit delayed compared to an EV. And it's noisier, it's harsher, and it just doesn't feel as nice. Same for the braking feel. So the braking feel in comfort is really good. I think it's comfortable enough, and when you're pressing the pedal, it's not too spongy, even though it's got regen. And when you come to a stop, it doesn't kind of judder and squeal and stuff either. It's really nice to use. In sport mode, it feels more electronically assisted. It feels like there's less of a link between you and the car, and it makes it feel a little bit too responsive. It starts to feel a bit grabby at certain speeds, and I don't really like that very much. So for me, this isn't a car that I would take spirited driving very often. This is something that I would much prefer to just stick in all the comfort modes, sport mode for the steering purely because I like the weight of it, and then just cruise along. It's not going to do the sporty stuff as well as some other cars. Even the MGs, for example, I think provides a little bit more of a dynamic experience. The BYDs even, they have slightly nicer handling potentially. Pure electric mode now, as you heard there by the cool little sound, and the infographics and the GUI of this car is awesome. It's up there with Tesla for a fantastic user experience. And in full EV mode, the power delivery is indeed a little bit more instant and there's a lot less fuss. However, you are losing a bit of power in doing so, and obviously it means that you're going to deplete the battery a lot quicker. So I personally just leave it in hybrid mode, let the car do its thing. It does astound me though how in the hybrid mode with the battery, I've got 13 miles of range left in the battery and I'm achieving currently 92 mpg, and you've seen my driving. I've not been driving like crazy sensible or anything, I'm just reviewing the car. So I've been driving how I would normally drive already, plus a little bit of spirited driving. So to achieve that sort of economy, it's just awesome. Like, this to me is hybrid done right, and the fact that it's still pretty good without the plug-in side of things is good to me as well. That indicator though is a little bit annoying for me because yes, you can customize it, but by default it's 3 clicks on one, and then if you put it fully, it stays on, but then it doesn't always self-cancel. It's just not as nice to use as some others. And obviously, if you're not going to plug this in, a Toyota self-charging hybrid is probably where you're going to get the most efficiency, because they can achieve sort of 60 to 70 mpg quite easily without plugging in, whereas this you're going to be getting more like 50. Right, onto a tougher, twistier road now, and this is where you can see the car's wallowing around a little bit. This is that luxury car experience. Think more Range Rover than Porsche Cayenne. This has just got more of a plush feel to it, but some people will love that. You've got a commanding view out over the road. It feels like a big, comfy luxury car. It feels way more expensive than it actually is. I'm going to stamp on the brake here. Very good actually, and didn't go juddery at the end. A lot of EVs and hybrids, they start to judder with the ABS at the end and go a bit weird and spongy. This didn't do that. This has been quite a good experience for me. And down a road like this, lots of imperfections, lots of gradients and weird twists and turns. It's not great as a handling car. I can feel more texture through the wheel thanks to the fact they've tuned the suspension and steering for kind of British roads, I guess, and European roads. But yeah, there's the lane keep assist getting a bit upset with me as well. It's fine, it's gonna do you, but it's not a sporty car. Expect it to feel on the comfort side and you won't be disappointed. But that's just what this car is all about. It's about offering a really comfortable, really premium feeling experience at the lower end of the market, and it does that really well in my opinion. And with an 8-year 125,000 mile warranty, that to me is the icing on the cake. That means that maybe you're a little bit skeptical about this brand because they're kind of emerging in the UK with their passenger cars, but much like any of the other brands, as long as there's a good dealership network behind them, as long as there's a good after sales behind them, you're bound to be in for a good experience. What's more, it's very maneuverable around town as well, and despite its size, it feels a lot smaller and more maneuverable because of the fact you've got such a great camera setup and all of the assist features built in too. And the tech in here as well puts most large brands to shame. It's not too intrusive, it's not too fiddly. I prefer it even to like the new Mazda stuff. This is just up there, like I said, with Tesla, with BYD on the cutting edge of the market. And as with any new car on this end of the market as well, in terms of pricing, I would imagine that you're going to get a couple of grand off with a good finance deal or with a dealer contribution or whatever. So this top end model that I've got here, although it's on paper just under 35 grand, you probably pay, I don't know, 33 for it. And that's just an absolute steal. This is an awesome value for money proposition. And it makes me excited to do this job because yes, this is just another emerging brand in the cheap SUV segment. There's a million of these cars out there now, but all of these innovations happening in such a short period of time makes it super exciting to see what comes next. And the fact that it's a reasonably accessible price for most people when you look at leases and buying on finance and stuff like that, it's a really nice proposition, isn't it? So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much to Geely for sending me out the car. I really do appreciate it as always. It's very exciting to see what they come out with next, as is with all these new emerging brands in the UK really. It is making the big brands also muscle up a little bit and come up with some new stuff, which is exciting. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It goes such a long way. And of course, if you want to see reviews of all of the rival cars, I probably have most of them on the channel, so do go and check those out as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.